Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 231st episode of the Geek First podcast. I am the dark Travis Snail.
I'm Adam Hardcaster, Dylan Muss.
I am the one last ride, Taylor Field.
Hey,
Always.
nice one.
If you haven't guessed by the name or the titles, what we're doing today is just a nice little breakdown. We said we've been covering all the Marvel Ultimate Alliance stuff, so you can go back and check out our reviews. You can go back and check out the review of the DLC. We did a tier ranking. We'll probably do a tier ranking once all the characters out again and do like a overall end off. Hopefully they do a smash and they like last minute announce, oh, we are making new characters. So my fingers are crossed, but we've been waiting for it. The X-Men are finally here. We didn't get a chance to talk about because holidays, and that's why this is a little bit later. We had holidays and everything like that, so it's been a busy time. So, I
mean, still, it came out less than a week ago at this point.
It did, yeah. It's just we're in like a time warp right now. I have no concept of time or space.
Yeah, in between
like
Christmas Day and like New Year's is just like this very strange cloudy period.
You know when Ant-Man gets stuck in the quantum realm? That's me right now. Just waiting for 2020
floating around
here. Yeah. Taylor, because you weren't on the video game watch longs, I wanted to get your take on the DLC first. As far as, were you happy with the 4 characters we got? And now that you've played them, what are you thinking about them? And then we'll get into the modes after, but let's start with the characters first.
I feel like I wasn't aware that for some reason I think either I did know or I forgot that it was XMen characters that were dropping in.
So Taylor's like, oh, fuck.
So it completely went over my head, and when I loaded up, I'm like, oh, it's XMen.
Yeah.
And when you load it up, not even remembering before you hit the button, like, oh man, X-Men.
Oh,
Taylor,
X-Men,
a notorious X-Men hater as well.
Yeah, I guess so, but you know, I was pleasantly surprised to see the characters because, like, when I was unlocking them and seeing, like, okay, well, we got Iceman, Cable, Jean Grey, and Gambit. I don't know much about like Gambit or like outside of the movies.
Yeah.
I don't really. Yeah, Gambit's probably the one I know least about. But it was fun to play as all these characters, and I got actually pretty excited playing as them, and I got attached to one, which I'll explain more further in as we go. But
was there any X-Men you're disappointed didn't make the cut?
No, I mean, like, out of the X-Men that they originally threw into the game, there wasn't anything, like, none of them really, like, drew me in to want to play as them, but this batch of characters, I do want to actually play as more, so it has me kind of excited.
And they already, like, put Colossus and Cyclops in there, which are 2 big ones, I think, as well.
Yeah, and again, like, Colossus and Cyclops, they're super fun. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, they're great.
But I'm really happy with who they added in this pack, so it's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, I was definitely, I mean, I've just been super excited for everything Ultimate Alliance. I've been so into this game. And, as for the characters picked, like, we've talked about this before, but to me, like, Jean Grey was a lock. Like, there was no way she wasn't going to be in this pack. And then I felt pretty confident that both Iceman and Gambit would make it in there, just because I feel like they're kind of unique. They're more popular X-Men, and then even Iceman's been like a base game character when Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. Gambit was just in 2, I believe, right?
Yeah, he was just in 2.
Even Cable was in 2 as well. So that 4th slot, that was one I was kind of curious about. Ended up being Cable. Not my like preferred pick. I don't have much history with Cable, and he's not my favorite character necessarily. I like the way he plays, but I guess I would have taken like maybe another character instead.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm really happy with it, and those 3 characters I thought would be in there play really well. So I'm pretty hyped on the DLC.
Who would you pick over Cable?
I really wanted Kitty Pryde, actually. I thought that would be an interesting moveset, like with the little dragon thing she has.
Yeah.
And could be cool. And even just like look at this, we've gotten 10 characters out of the game post release, and there's one female in there with Jean Grey. So I feel like, I mean, with Fantastic Four, we'll get another one, but I just feel like that'd be another good chance to get another female character. Even like Emma Frost could be cool.
Emma Frost would have been my pick, if we're going the female route.
Yeah. I don't know who else other. I mean, Beast would have been nice, but he's already kind of in the game as like an NPC, so I wouldn't really want him as like a paid DLC character. And other than that, I feel like they kind of nailed it because, I mean, Colossus and Cyclops would have been mine, but they already put them in there. So I think they kind of have all the main X-Men you'd want. And Cable's not a bad pick by any stretch of the imagination, and it's even nice because he was in Ultimate Alliance 2 as well, so it's fun to have him carry over.
Yeah,
so.
And he was just in a movie too, so it kind of helps popularity.
So that you can play the... That's what I'm excited for, actually. In the future, think about this. You'll be able to play the Josh Brolin and Chris Evans team because you can have both Cable and Thanos for the Josh Brolin, and then Chris Evans, you'll have Captain America and Human Torch. So that'll be a... I hope they put that in the game as like an actual bonus. They won't, but that'd be so cool.
The copies, the copies team.
Chris Brolin team.
Yeah. I was the Chris Brolin team. I was happy with them all. There wasn't anything I really wanted because I felt like all the X-Men I really wanted were in the base game. The only one was Gambit and Jean Grey to a lesser extent because the first game I or the second game she's in, I do really like her. But Gambit's the one I wanted. So once I got that, the rest were cherries on top. Iceman, I've never been a big fan of, so I was like, there's other people I could have been, but I was happy with them all. And the DLC continues. All the characters, even the base game, there's only a few characters that I think I don't really play with these people at all. They just spent so much time and effort into them, and I can see why they put these specific ones in. So, yeah, I really like all the picks. I'll just transition my thoughts on them. Gambit and Jean Grey are two of my favorites. I'm excited to do the re-tier rankings because it's tough. There's a lot of people that we talk about Cyclops, Colossus. They are great. Jean Grey and Gambit are great for different reasons. Gambit's this weird combo of, like, you said Loki, and then the other one, he kind of is quick like Blade. I love his staff like that, but he is like a mini powerhouse in a way, which I like because his big he's a weird combo of, like,
his heavy attack just feels so good.
Yeah.
Like, it rumbles the controller.
It's like Captain Marvel meets Loki meets what was the other one I was saying? What did a Blade?
Yeah.
And then he has, like, the cards was the biggest thing because I was a big fan of Iron Man in other games. They took away the plasma blast. I like that where it bounces all over. So they changed it up, but it's still in there because the old one he just would have them in the hand and it's just like going like that. So it's a lot faster. But then they just they tripled down and just made that he's just chucking 3 cards at a time. And if you get the right synergy, team up with Loki or someone with a tornado, Gambit will just pop off. Or the one of my favorite ones is Colossus. When he does a spin move, he'll bounce the cards off Colossus.
That's so cool.
It's pretty cool. So I love Gambit. Jean Grey is somebody that, like Blade, I'm playing with her and I want to just get her the highest level because she is just. She feels in a game, if this was a competitive game, like a Smash game, I feel like she'd be a little broken because I just feel, even at the level, she's only like a 50 for me right now, but she feels so much stronger than a 50. It's ridiculous. Her moveset, with her synergy, she has that whatever the to the right one is. It's just like she powers up and then she throws just fire blast. It just takes out stuff so easily, and I like that.
And that's the one that, like, picks up small enemies too.
Yeah.
The thing is, it usually just kills them one shot, but if it doesn't, then it will still pick them up and chuck them.
She reminds me of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 Doctor Strange, where it's just like, if he's used right, he's just so powerful. And she's somebody that I want on the team. Captain Marvel was kind of like my big, powerful, like lots of stuff going on character. I think Jean Grey's going to replace her. So yeah, those two I loved. Iceman, I was uneasy on when I started, just even by the way he walks. He glides the entire time. I was like, I don't know if I like this. And his attacks, he felt very squishy, very weak. And as I play with him more, I start to really like him. He is the best extreme in the game. I love it. He just becomes this big ice monster and destroys stuff, so he's awesome. And his powers, he is a defense player, but the way I described it, these two, is just he feels like a camper. You hit somebody, and then you, like, run away, or you can attack from afar, so that's great. Gambit is the only one I need to spend more time with. Yeah, yeah. Cable's more time because I like his power set, but he feels very slow, but he does feel kind of like Cap, where he's more of a defense player. He's on the side, so he's the one I've put the least time in. I've enjoyed him. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I kind of think half his power moves are good, and then the other half, like his shield, it works, but it's nothing too spectacular. But I do feel he has some cool synergies, so I got to put more time with them. But I like them all. Gambit and Jean Grey being really great for me. So
I wanted to touch on a couple things. Like Phoenix, she has like some sort of revive mechanic as well, which I don't know how. I think it like triggers after she uses her extreme attack.
Is that why people keep healing on my team sometimes if she's around? I think because I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah,
that's
so
nice.
I don't know exactly what triggers it. I'm pretty sure it's just the extreme attack, but that's really cool as well. It doesn't use up. I believe it doesn't use up your like revive tokens on a certain level. Normally you have like 5 or 6, whatever it is. So that's pretty cool. Iceman has like that kind of defense boost, which I mean we've seen that like Cap kind of has like an attack boost, and other characters have them. So I think it fits well with Iceman as well, like conceptually. I wish he skated a bit quicker. That was my only thing.
I agree.
He feels a little slow for what should be like Frozone, just like tossing it down.
That's why I didn't like it. It feels a little clunky to begin with. You gotta like. It sounds weird, but you gotta learn the right.
The thing I do like is that you can transition from the air one, and it goes like since your run animation is that, it just transitions into it. So I think that's pretty cool. Gambit, I really like that kind of like, I don't know what you'd call it, but he kind of sets down like the mine card, like the cards that just sit there for a bit.
When he jumps back.
Yeah, and then you can stack them up a few times. Then you kind of trigger it with your big like heavy attack, and that's really cool. You can just do some fat damage, and it's like kind of a self synergy, right?
I wasn't sure what was going on first because I threw them and they weren't going off.
Like, why are these working?
Yeah, like he's busted character.
And then Cable's weird. I like. because he has like this one like turret move, right? And then he also has like a grav bomb, so you can chop down the turret and then like shoot a grav bomb right in the middle of it, and then it'll kind of suck them all up and do a lot of damage. That's cool. And then he also, like Nightcrawler and Deadpool, has a teleport with his double jump, so that's obviously great as well. So yeah, I think they did a really good job of making them unique and giving all of them like something unique. You know, a lot of characters, because like the way they have the synergy system, like some characters do feel a little cookie cutter, or like a couple of their moves do. And that was like maybe some of our complaints with like Moon Knight a bit, or at least mine. But I think they did a great job here of at least giving every character like one or two aspects to them that are unique from everyone else. So the fact that there's just like, I don't know, over 40 characters now, and they're still making some unique stuff is pretty sweet. And it just gets me more excited for the last pack that's coming.
Which, have they set a date on that? Or
they just said
2020,
spring,
right?
so
Yeah. Before Taylor goes, do you think we're gonna get any more free like Cyclops or Colossus? I'm starting to get worried, but there is a long time between now and spring that maybe they'll sprinkle it in.
There is, I don't know. I think the thing I'm curious about is they've said, and like they've certainly proved it, they plan on giving every character like another costume, and they've already rolled that out. This update has a huge amount of them, so I'm wondering like if they do that again, like the only other time they've done that other than this pack and the Marvel Knights pack is when they had Cyclops and Colossus. And then they had some costumes along with them. So I'm wondering if they don't want to do an update that's just costumes. So perhaps they will have a kind of an intermittent one where they add a couple more characters. Not sure who they would do. I mean, people who've like kind of data mined the game have seen that there's like full voice files for a few characters. So that could lead
being a few of them.
Yeah, Inhumans, like particularly Medusa and Black Bolt have like a bunch of I guess Black Bolt, I don't know what his voice lines would be, but there's like evidence to corroborate that they could have been worked on. And I think the other one is like Valkyrie, because it's even kind of weird in the story. You like meet her in hell there, and she's like, here, let's go up to Asgard, and then she kind of just disappears, but then she comes back in cutscenes later, so she seems like she was a character that was cut at some point. And then even like Vision as well, like seems like he really should have been a playable, but they probably just focused on other characters instead. So I feel like if anyone, it would be one of those four, because they already have models in game. They don't really have like the things that make Colossus and Cyclops kind of shoo-ins is that they already had like attack animations, right? Because they help you in a fight. So I feel like to transition them into playable was a lot easier than some of these other characters. But
wasn't Valkyrie that too? Wasn't she engaging in some parts, or was it only cutscenes?
I don't think she does. Like, she has a model in-game. She walks up to you and talks to you, but I don't think she attacks at any point.
Okay.
Maybe in, like, the cutscene, because she does have, like, a cutscene that she's fully CG'd in. So, yeah, I don't think any of them have any, like, attack animations, but I feel like if it's going to be anyone, it might be some of those four. I mean, I guess the other thing would be, like, bosses. They could really go along easy because they have a ton of moves already, but I don't know if
Maximus.
I really don't think they will add any bosses. I don't know. I just kind of have that
No
vibe.
Surtur is a playable character.
That would be wild. A little mini baby Surtur. That'd be cool. But, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put money on it just because I've tried to keep my expectations low for more updates. And, I mean, they've promised on everything that they have said they were going to do. So, I mean, I'm not complaining at this point. I'll definitely take whatever they want to give me, but I wouldn't put money on it. How about you?
No.
Yeah. The safe bet.
Yeah. Taylor, how do these characters feel for you?
So far, like, and starting on a good note, like my other statement was, it just, these characters are just, I find them really fun to play with. I've kind of drawn more towards Cable out of the bunch. When I played as him, I thought like, oh, he's going to be like a Punisher kind of like rip-off or something like that, but he felt very unique. I loved his move. I love how his guns kind of go like stationary hovering and shoots like blasts out. I love his shield. I love, his whole moveset is just, it's fantastic. And he's the one that I've definitely favored. Secondly, like, I tried playing as Jean Grey, but I don't think I was using her properly because I kept getting like knocked out pretty quick.
She's somebody you want to be like from afar. You don't want to be up in the battle. Really.
My Ghost Rider instinct comes in, and I'm just going in there heavy attacks. So I have to play more as her because I definitely wasn't jiving well with her. Gambit was fun. I'm in the same boat as you. I was throwing those things. I'm like, they're not doing anything. I kept throwing more. And
just a field of cards doing nothing.
But he's cool. I definitely got I guess kind of like Blade-ish vibes a bit from him, but not in like a copycat
he feels
way.
like a very hybrid character. Like, he's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And his French accent and insults are fun too.
Yeah, you love those.
One on me.
But my second character I probably really chived with was probably Iceman, and I was taking shots at him being a Ghost Rider knockoff, just because when Iceman would spew the ice out of his face, I would spew the fire back in his face. It was just a cool. I just enjoyed seeing
I
it.
didn't even think about that. That's
Battle
a cool
of the Elements.
combination.
It is cool, yeah. But that's when we're like fighting each other. It wasn't like a synergy attack.
Yeah.
So
you should work on that. Get them together. See what happens.
I should. You said
Fire and ice.
which character did you say whenever there's like a tornado they add to it?
Well,
Well,
Gambit.
any tornado.
Gambit.
Yeah, any
so
tornado.
I want to try that then, because this Ghost Rider, I can do my chain whip, and I want to see if Gambit can actually synergize with that.
He should
then.
be able to, I would think. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one, but I was thinking more like the Loki Wasp sort of when they do that.
Mm.
Yeah, not because I haven't used Ghost Rider well. I forget how his tornado works, but that'd be sick. But yeah, the tornado cards is great because it's kind of a callback to Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. They would do that. Him and Penance would do this extreme together where he'd create a tornado and he's just throwing cards.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I don't know if it was meant to be a callback, but that's what it feels like. And it just destroys people because Gambit is throwing those cards like there's no tomorrow when he's in a set.
Oh yeah, he's going in.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah, no, I find that most of these new characters they add, they usually have synergy with Ghost Rider, which makes me happy. I don't know why, but that's good.
I think it's
Ghost
just
Rider
like
fans.
I think that's what's nice about this. Just the skill system in general is it's really easy to have a
Pair
lot of
people up.
synergies. So
Mhm.
most characters, except for poor Scarlet Witch, have like synergies with everyone, at least one or two. So
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say about Jean Grey. She has a very different moveset than Scarlet Witch, but she's kind of what I wanted Scarlet Witch to be. Even though I like Scarlet Witch, I still enjoy her and I put her on the team every once in a while.
Yeah.
But Jean Grey's what I would.
yeah, she's great.
Modes, I was gonna say we've talked about Gauntlet before.
Yeah,
Gauntlet stuff.
just new gauntlets. They go up to level 180 is the highest one, which is pretty intense. And I like a couple of them. Like one of them is like an XMen boss rush, where essentially it's like 10 levels and you just fight against each one back to back to back. So I like some of them, and it's just the same complaints as we had before, just a lot of load times. So not much to say on those, but yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, no, same
Yeah.
thing as last time. If you go back, listen to all the reviews. Just I love them. I love the idea of other content, the replay missions. That's fun. But cons are just sometimes it's too much of a time crunch. It's
Yeah.
just like destroy like 21 powerful enemies and maybe 2 pop up or 3 pop up. And
It sucks.
I will say though, like the objectives, there was less that were like that. Like I think there's one that I had to do, I think 3 times over to get all of them, and that was the only one. I don't have all the stars. There's like 2 or 3 more levels I need to get the stars on. But for the most part, it feels like they made those less tedious to get the stars. So that's a good improvement. But the load times are still atrocious, obviously.
No, just the load times are absolutely horrendous. I feel like they're still a little bit faster than the
Yeah.
previous one, but no, I hate how I run through it and I usually like get a good time done, but like there's not enough of those like high powered enemies that pop up while I'm playing it, and that's frustrating because I want to get those other rewards.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad. Danger Room. Yeah, Danger Room's interesting. So if you haven't played, it's essentially a 4v4 competitive mode. It's instanced, so you're not in the same game. You're just like fighting against another team in real time, and they have the exact same map setup as you. So you have it's essentially like a rift or like a gauntlet. Like you just have a certain level, and then so you have like an overarching goal. So maybe it's like get as many KOs as you can in this amount of time, or take out 20 enemies, or whatever it is, take out this boss. But then you also have little objectives that will pop up. So it's like something like jump like 20 times, and so your team accumulatively it just has to jump a bunch of times to hit that. Or you'll have like everyone do extreme attack or do 10 synergy attacks, something like that. And then when you accomplish those, they either give your team a buff or they send a debuff to your opponents in real time. So it's a cool idea, and I do like it. There is like some key problems to it though. I think the main one for me is one, like the variety. So there's like 4 different levels you can choose of like there's like alpha, beta, delta, and omega, and so they just kind of go up in difficulty. But the thing is, they all scale to your like relative levels anyway, so it doesn't really feel like it matters. I think the only thing that changes is like what levels will pop up. But I've noticed that there really isn't all that many in there. Like, so for the Delta one, which I did a bunch to grind it to get all the costume unlocks and stuff, I want to say there's a maximum of like maybe 10 levels that can pop up. I'd say it's probably around 8 if I had to say off the top of my head. But the thing is, you do 3 levels every time you do it, so you end up doing the same ones over and over. So I just don't really get it, right? Like, they have so many rips they could just rip from directly and put them in there just to add more variety. So I don't really understand why they had to make it so limited. It gets a little tedious. And then the other thing for me is the reliance on extreme attacks. Like it just I don't know why. It seems like every level you just get extreme attacks so quickly, so it ends up just being an extreme attack spam fest. Unless you're going for an objective, like
A
you know, I
lot
need
of
to use
frame
20.
rate problems.
Yeah, exactly. I played pretty much most of this update on just handheld mode because I was out of town, didn't have like a TV access to, playing on the bus and stuff. So like yeah, the frame rate's already much worse in handheld mode. You mix that with online, and like just extreme attack spamming, and I was running at like 10, 20 frames a second, like a lot, and it's pretty savage. Like I don't know, it really takes away my enjoyment. I just feel like if they took away the extreme attacks or made it much less, it would actually be a lot better of a mode. It would lag less, and then it would just be a little bit more like skill based instead of just everyone spamming the left and right trigger. So that's kind of my key complaints with it, and I guess the fact that you don't get level ups. So
Yeah, that's gonna say I agree with Dill on the first one as far as just I think just needs some more fine tuning. I think it's a fun idea, but I think it just maybe add some more, maybe just fine tune it a little bit. It feels repetitive, and that's the other thing for me is my biggest complaint is the no XP. I get it because there's an online, but
yeah,
like we were talking about, I've been playing local because
yeah, like if you're playing local, you should get XP.
yeah, I don't really understand, and because it sucks because they're being really cagey about because I looked in this about what's going to happen to these costumes after these 40 days. This is the thing I don't like about too is why they make this an event.
Right.
It would be fine if they did an event for different ISOs or things like that, but they know which. We'll talk about costumes next, but I give them a huge applause because if you go back to the review, that was why I didn't give this game like a perfect score because the costumes they just flat out sucked, and for me that's a staple Marvel.
Yeah, they're recolors, not costumes.
Yeah, exactly. That was a staple of Marvel Ultimate Alliance was, ooh, what are the different looks? I want to unlock this. So when that was taken away, it's like, oh, that's a bummer. They brought that back, but to say, oh, these costumes are in this trial, which is very grindy, a 42-day event. They've not said, oh, if you don't complete it then, like, to me, I'm not sure if you complete in 42 days, are you just getting it earlier? Or is it like, oh, you can get all the costumes eventually, but you're going to have to wait the 42 days? So
yeah, they're not clear on that.
Yeah, I don't like that, so I feel like they're just trying to make you play the mode, which is fine, but the other thing is I don't get, even from an online standpoint, because don't you get XP if you play story mode online with people and things like that?
Yeah, so I guess the reason is because this is a competitive mode, right? And they want the stats to stay the same, whether or not that's like a coding thing, like for balance wise. Because, like I said, the difficulty scales based on your level. So if your level was changing, I could see how that could fuck with the formula. So I understand with online, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But once again, for playing against AI, there's no reason it shouldn't give you XP. So especially a lot of people like don't have access to online. You don't have Nintendo Online, so it makes it so like because you also get more tier points to get the event stuff from playing online. I'm pretty sure. So it just feels like they didn't really consider the people who don't have Nintendo Online. I guess they assumed like, oh, if you bought DLC, you have a Nintendo Online, but that's not how it works. So.
No, and that's the thing. Like, eventually, maybe the costumes I might get just because, like Dylan says, it's really easy. So I might wait. Not really easy, but it's easier to do online. So I might wait till there's like 5 days left and do it then. I'm just somebody that we're joking about like costumes and whatnot. When I still got Death Stranding out there, I still have not even tried Outer Worlds. So when I play Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I want to feel like I'm moving forward. And I love a lot of the costumes that they introduced. We'll talk about. I thought they did some great ones, but when it comes to the costumes versus XP, I want to be doing XP because I always want to be getting people up. I want to be completing Gauntlet. So to me, that's just a disappointing thing that they put in there. And even like I said, for me, it's more just the unclear of the costumes because it just feels. I'm not gonna say shady. It's no like political thing or anything like that, but it's just like. It feels kind of what we've talked about in the marketing of this game. Some things just get lost by the wayside. They don't really talk about it or just kind of there. So I like the idea and concept. I think it needs to be fine tuned. And I think, especially for local play, add XP. Because the second you add XP, then I'll feel like I need.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like I like having the objectives to go for. Like that adds a good variety. And like, man, I have had some savage times. Like I was playing online and I feel like some of the levels you have to just like go to a certain area first before you do like the final battle. So if I'm like Scarlet Witch, I'm the flyer of the group. I'm just gonna blaze forward and go get there so we can win. But then like the enemy team gets like a paralyzed debuff, and my character just gets stunned on the ground. Then a bunch of enemies killed me, and then it's like that huge advantage I was going for just got taken away. So there actually is like the competitive aspect of it is fun, and going for those objectives is meaningful. But yeah, like so if you got XP for it in solo play, I would definitely use that to grind my characters up because it is more fun than. Just like doing gauntlets or doing the same rift over and over. So it's too bad.
So
yeah.
It feels weird that they made it just almost specifically for online. They're like, we'll throw in some local stuff, but I don't know. So hopefully there's even an update. Even if like I said, just clarify what's going on with those costumes. Because if it's a 42-day thing, then I can wait or I feel no pressure. Where it's like, my life right now, 2 kids, other games, podcasts. It's like I only got a amount of time to play it. So
yeah, and for you personally, it's like the Old Man Logan one is way at the end, so that sucks. Like if you could get that one early on and then just check out, that'd be fine. But yeah,
I saw 2 Wolverine costumes, like, oh, I hope, but I'm like, no, that's not gonna be.
at least you can buy one of them. But what do you think of the mode, Mr. Field?
I very much enjoyed it. It took me a while to get into a game online. I found I found there was only one lobby I could join. I joined it, and then there was like three people in there, and then it just for some reason like it disconnected, and then luckily there's another lobby that popped up shortly after I got in there, but then the wait time was like forever for the host to actually like start
I'm not sure if it's because like I was queuing Delta, that's the highest level one, and that's where you get the most tier points. That's why I was doing it. I didn't have any problem finding games like at any time of the day. So I wonder if you were probably queuing like a maybe alpha or beta mode. Maybe people aren't interested in doing that one. So yeah, definitely try Delta next time if you're going to do some more of it. But yeah, that's too bad. I mean, the game in general, it's not like I was seeing 10 lobbies at a time. It's usually like 3 or 4, and they'd have different amounts of people in there. But that's too bad.
Yeah, but that being said, I do enjoy it. I thought it was really fun. I love just queuing up in the lobby and just dropping all my Ghost Rider lines. I bought everything Ghost Rider in the store.
I love the voice line wars that happen in those lobbies.
It's
so funny.
Good. I was in a big rip war with Magneto the other day. Just so much,
and like Elsa's lines are so fucking hilarious too. I love it.
It's so good. And but the game mode though it's a lot of fun. I love the competitive aspect. I love just kind of like seeing your bar go up 1%, the enemy's 1%. It's like getting really heated and you're trying really hard. And I'm still
where you don't really know
much.
exactly what all the variables are, but you're just still.
But it's exciting. So I didn't know that you had to do this event within a 42-day span.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's just no communication from the devs from this game in general. I mean, they're a Japanese team, but also just it really does. Honestly, it feels like Marvel and Nintendo like made this dungeon where they just throw all these devs in and just let them handle the game.
It's weird because I went to the events section that they added and it said no events were active, which is even weirder. Really?
Chug in. Like I had to Dylan, he went to the Discord, but like one day I just turned on. I was like, oh, the events here, but it's like I have been playing this for 2 days.
I know that's
Danger Room, no event. So it's like when I played the Danger Room the few times, I think it didn't even go towards my event, and I was.
And that's the thing that's got to be straight up a bug. Like it doesn't make any sense because at first we thought it might just be if you don't have online you can't do it, but that's not true because Travis got access to it. I'm lucky. I mean, I'm in the Discord. I'm talking to other people who are playing this game, so I know about this stuff. But if you don't, like Travis, you might just be grinding. Oh, I'm gonna try this new mode, and then you might never realize that the events because it just doesn't like. Has it still not popped up for you?
No. I have to go back and check. I haven't checked for a day.
That's super weird. Like I have no idea why that's happening. I didn't have that problem, but I also can't remember what it was like. So.
I guess my next question would be: so the characters are DLC, but are these skins technically free? Because I was reading that the skins were free and they're not part of the DLC itself.
So there's costumes for the Marvel Knights and for X-Men, the new X-Men, or there's recolors for the new X-Men. So obviously those are paid content, but the rest I'm pretty sure is considered free updates. So
That's what I saw when I was trying to search like a madman.
So yeah, those. You should have access to them. Like you can buy a lot of them in the shop as well. So
like free costume update.
Yeah.
When they did like the OG X-Men, when you got the Old Man Logan, that's a free costume update.
Yeah.
And that's where I think those costumes have to stick around because I feel like that's a weird thing to say. It's a free costume update, but then it's after 42 days they're gone forever.
Yeah, no, I have to imagine that after that point they just go into the Gauntlet shop and you can purchase them with shield points. So,
and maybe they're more expensive than other costumes.
But the thing that sucks is they haven't confirmed that, which I have to imagine that's the case, but we can't say for sure because the devs don't talk about the game, unfortunately, because of PR reasons, I guess.
It's funny after I think it was like after the first day that the DLC came out, I was playing that Danger Room mode, and someone already had the Old Man Logan skin. So I was like, wow, I didn't know it was like the end of the list for skins, but yeah, he's a dev. If you kill him, you get the
caster joining us in our ranks. Wow, good deal.
Do you guys have any of the new costumes to shout out? Because I thought they really killed it as I was just talking about before.
Yeah, I was just going to break it down. Like, so the new X-Men, there's a recolor for each of them. And then for all the following characters, there's a new costume, like a new look for them, as well as a recolor. So Cyclops, Colossus, Magneto, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, Storm, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Elsa, Punisher, Morbius, Moon Knight, Blade, and Ghost Rider. So if I'm counting correctly, that's 34 new costumes, which is pretty awesome. That's a lot. Or I mean, you'd maybe consider that half recolors, half new costumes. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked on them. I really like the Scarlet Witch one. It's the kind of classic Scarlet Witch. So I really like that one. And then the Elsa one, it's pretty simple. It actually kind of looks like Zero Suit Samus. It's like kind of that blue suit. But I just like having the variety on there. The Doctor Strange one is cool. It's the blue mage, which I was hoping they would add. Unfortunately, I don't like Doctor Strange at all. But yeah, overall, I think they did a really good job with the costume. I think the one you want to shout out is probably Old Man Logan. We kind of talked about, but that's definitely the best one.
Well, honestly, it is the best one just because like you got the comic hype, but it is for me the other.
The Blade one is awesome. I love the Blade one.
But I also love the Morbius one because I don't love his Michael Jackson look in the video game.
Yeah.
So this looks more like the animated series. So
I like that one. Yeah.
Moon Knight and that was probably my favorite one, Punisher, because you got Age of Apocalypse Punisher in there, and then you got Moon Knight with his classic look. But there is. Where was it? And I love the X-Men, the astonishing ones for Cyclops.
Yeah, the Cyclops one's great.
You got the Storm and classic 90s, and Magneto with his Marvel Now.
Yeah, his Magneto's, and he's fucking ripped too. He looks so muscular. And then Psylocke is cool because it's the same one she had in Ultimate Alliance 2, I believe. Yeah. So I like that one, and the recolor for it's nice as well. So.
And like you said, the visage or whatever for Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch looks great. The Ghost Rider one, I cannot wait to get because that is.
And the recolor for it is like fully red, and it looks pretty great.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this. The Kid Loki one doesn't look.
I don't love it.
I
Yeah.
think it's weird because he still looks.
He's still a man.
Yeah, and he's wearing kids' clothes. So
Yeah.
It's like if you put me in my clothes I wore when I was 12 years old, so it's a weird thing to do. But yeah, I love the Ghost Rider one, and so I think they did phenomenal jobs on majority of those.
It's just so many, and I just love having new costumes to play with. So I'm pretty stoked on that.
For me, Cyclops, I love how he's got the full RoboCop look going on right now.
He kind of does, yeah.
And then Colossus, when you sent that to me the first time, I was like, whoa, it's like an Iron Fist crossover version. Because I don't know, is that like an actual like uniform that he's worn before? Because he straight up looks like Iron Fist.
It's pretty weird.
Age of Apocalypse, the reason is because isn't there someone else that has like a weird Age of Apocalypse one? Oh, I lost it. But the reason is because Age of Apocalypse, it is literally like in the comic book, an apocalypse has happened. And that's where like Magneto and Rogue have a baby together and everything. So it's really weird. So it's almost like a parallel universe. So that's why you have like those characters like Colossus.
Some weird looks, yeah.
Yeah, some really weird looks. Like, I thought there was another one.
I don't feel like Psylocke really looks too different. But maybe I don't know. The purple just looks.
It's
the
not a
same.
huge change, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
Nightcrawler.
it's like she has like a full leg wrap thing. That's kind of the main thing. It has like a dragon
okay.
on it. So.
Like, you've seen
Okay.
the Punisher one, right? That's why he's looking weird, because he's also Age of Apocalypse, where he's like, it's gone past, and he's like looking like Apocalypse kind of with that arm and everything. So
Yeah, it's like a 2099 sort of.
they got some good stuff in Age of Apocalypse.
I like the Punk Storm. That's really really.
Yeah,
cool.
that one from the from X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah,
movie.
Magneto just looks super cool.
He's fucking swole, man.
And,
It's crazy.
Old Man Logan skin. He looks very cool, like the
Yeah.
white Wolverine.
Have you
hair.
got your Ghost Rider costume yet?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
okay.
I really I really like it. It just makes me think like, oh, this is straight up like Johnny Blaze's dad or whatever kind of vibe, because it just looks like that aesthetic with the helmet of him like jumping through the fire ring.
Yeah.
And it looks so cool. It's just the costume, right? It wouldn't like change his bike or anything like that. Do you think?
I don't think it does.
That'd be so
I
cool.
don't think it does.
And shout out for Astonishing X-Men for Cyclops. That's the comic that Joss Whedon wrote as well. So
Cool.
Really good one.
Nice.
Yeah, overall, some really good costumes, some
Yeah.
good characters.
There's some other just miscellaneous things they added. Like, there's a new kind of enemy type, the Hazard Spheres. The Gravity one, as we talked about, is like the most savage,
Fuck that.
especially with the laser beam like Asgard level you have to go through. That's brutal. But there's also like Ice and Shock and Shield one. So those are, I don't know, just like they're not much, but another little bit of variety, I guess, to the enemy types.
A little touch, I love that the Iceman, when he gets hit with it, he just gets pushed back. And I know that's a little thing when there's an ice sphere, but in previous games, you'd have an ice character who would get frozen.
Yeah.
Why is this case?
Just like an oversight.
Small little detail they did, like, oh, Iceman's not going to get frozen. It'll push him back, but it won't freeze him.
Yeah.
Very well done. I like that. When I saw him, I thought,
Mhm.
people, they're doing their best they can.
Yeah. Similar to how the Marvel Knights pack added like the infected and whatnot to like the mix up the enemy types. They added like these Phoenix protocol pickup things, so like enemies will have like or you can even pick them up as well as like these red fire wings that go behind you as well, that I guess give you like a boost and also kind of light you on fire. I'm not entirely sure what
They
do.
take your health and they give you more.
Yeah, so you get like more damage.
It
While
makes all your abilities and synergy stronger, but then you die. So that's why I stopped using it, because nitty-gritty, I'd be
and
like,
well, it does give you a little health boost when you initially pick it up though too.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need it in a pinch like
And
that.
I think you can grab multiples, right?
You can, yeah.
You can.
You can get the wings to become the huge Phoenix. So that's the only person I do that with is like Thanos, because he's my high,
Right.
like 101 or something.
That must look pretty badass. Thanos with some fire wings.
I really like that they added
Yeah.
Phoenix Force.
They even added some new like effects. Like there's like a lightning aura that some enemies will have. Like certain bosses, they'll put it on, so it's just like they shoot out lightning that'll come strike you down, which is pretty savage. It makes some boss fights like pretty crazy because you always have to be on your toes. They added some new ISO effects. So like they added one, I'm pretty sure this one's new at least, where they reduce the flight costs. So if you have like a character you want to fly around with a lot, you can put some of those on, and then some like revive and like EP regeneration ones. Like they just added some new stuff in there, so that's cool. Some new loot to find. They added some new voice lines. Obviously, me and Taylor were kind of talking about that. They raised the level cap to 200, which is kind of savage. Although I'm pretty sure, because I tried, like, I just wanted to see how many cubes it would take to get my blade from 130 to 200. And I'm like, he doesn't get much levels until 150, but then after that, it like goes down lower again. So I'm pretty sure the like amount of XP required kind of caps out at 150, and then it drops down again. So at least like getting to 150 is harder than going from like, let's say 150 to 180 or something. I'm not sure when it's like scales back up again, but something I kind of noticed. And then the Alliance enhancement grid obviously has been like even more expanded now, so there's more stuff to upgrade there.
I can't wait one day till I fully have that thing complete.
Oh yeah, someday.
5 years from now.
Be as old
5
as old
years.
man Logan.
Oh yeah, I did it.
I wonder if they'll extend that even more with the Fantastic Four.
I bet
Yeah.
they will, 'cause they love extending that map.
So yeah, that's a bunch of new content. I mean, a lot of reused content as well in like just different ways, I guess. But I don't know. It's just more stuff to sift through, more stuff to unlock, more characters to play with, and overall pretty fun update. I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Oh, me too. They're
Yeah.
killing it.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a really good update. I enjoy it. I love those Phoenix wings on Ghost Rider. Just when I
Yeah.
whip out that bike and I'm just flying, like it's just like a fallen angel vibe. Just I'm digging it. It's so cool. And overall, it's a good update. I'm really not liking the UI anymore. I think it's just becoming
Now there's
way
3
too
menus.
crammed.
Yeah,
3 menus.
There's no reason for it too.
There isn't. Like the first menu has like way more like things on it than it ever had before, as opposed to like a main menu having like 4 main things.
Or at
like,
least if you could like just hit like a bumper to shift between the menus, maybe that'd be better. But you have to like click on menu
Yeah.
select and then scroll to one, then click A. So
It's
it
horrible.
just seems a little unintuitive.
and I hate that because I'm not sure if I can get to like the store through like the main menu. I got to go to like the nightmare menu, and like
Yeah.
it's so cluttered and just poorly organized.
I
like
agree.
I feel like I have to Google how to access things, which
Mhm.
is just atrocious.
Did you guys notice the menu music? Because I played, like I was saying, handheld. I didn't really listen. I didn't really have sound on like at all.
I found there's some new tracks like I realized is playing as the new characters, and even like going through like the Gauntlet to unlock them, and I
Nice.
love the new tracks that they have in
Awesome.
there. It
I'll
was
have to check
epic.
those out still. But nice. Yeah, it happens.
Taylor, where can I find you?
You can find us, ladies and gentlemen, with your internet connection to Geekverse Space Podcast. I don't know if that made much sense. We are, the
What is our name?
Geekverse Space Podcast. You can find us with the internet
Yeah.
connection anywhere on Facebook, Twitter, Geekverse Cast. We're all over the
Geeks
place.
Cast. We'll be back for a Fantastic Four DLC, so
Mhm.
check us out there.
And then we're going to do the tier rankings again. So
Yeah.
we've got more coverage on this. So thank you very much for tuning in. Everything down below in the description of the video and audio feeds. If you like what we do here, please subscribe, like, rate, review, the whole shebang. So thank you very much for tuning in. Promise you won't be boring.
See ya.
Are you going to be here for Fantastic Four, Kirkland?
Maybe. I have to catch up on all these other DLCs. Gosh, I don't even have the Morbius one.